Hello everyone. Welcome to our video presentation. For Group 9 today, we will explore the macroeconomic trends and challenges faced by Malaysia and China in 2025 and beyond. As we enter 2025, the world is facing various macroeconomic challenges. US debt levels are rising. Technology is evolving at an unprecedented pace, and price rigidity is affecting firm behavior. In Malaysia, thousands of young people have been declared bankrupt due to personal loans and consumer behaviors driven by social pressure. Meanwhile, in China and Southeast Asia, smartphone and beverage markets are transforming how people live and interact with the economy. These economic trends can be explained using key macroeconomic theories: the life cycle income hypothesis (LCH), the relative income hypothesis (RE), the real business cycle (RBC) model, and the new Keynesian economics (ENC) model. In this video, we will present three real-world macroeconomic scenarios. First, we will examine rising youth debt in Malaysia. Second, we will explore the economic impact of new technologies like smartphones. Third, we will analyze how firms like AirAsia and Change navigate market changes with rigid pricing.
In Malaysia, rising youth debt and bankrupt side cases are gaining attention. Between 2020 and 2025, over 5,272 individuals under 34 declared bankruptcy, with 5,189 aged to 5-34 in 2020. For alone, there were 877 youth bankruptcies, a jump of 20.6% from 727 a year earlier. Breaking down the causes, personal loans account for 46.4%, followed by business loans, mortgages, and vehicle loans. Other drivers include credit card debt, taxes, and student loans. Driven by FOMO and the YOLO culture, many young Malaysians feel they must own the latest gadgets, travel experiences, and trending fashion, even if it means buying now and paying later. This leads to a dangerous cycle of over-consumption and dependency on buy now, pay later options, masking the true costs behind delayed payments. Economic theory offers insight. Relative income hypothesis RE argues that people consume based on how they compare to others, not just their income. When a friend's luxury lifestyle appears, the pressure to match it can prompt even debt-fueled spending. Life cycle income hypothesis (LCIH) suggests individuals smooth consumption over time, borrowing when young and saving later. The model assumes future income will pay off earlier debts, but reality diverges. Rising living costs, slow wage growth, and uncertain job markets mean income rarely keeps pace. So optimistic projections falter, turning early borrowing into a debt trap and, in some cases, bankruptcy. Experts warn that today, as youth are becoming credit dependent, a structural problem requiring educational reforms, tighter lending rules, and a cultural shift away from conspicuous consumption. This is where the relative income hypothesis becomes more powerful. It's not absolute poverty that drives over consumption, it's relative deprivation. The feeling of falling behind peers. People spend more when they feel less than, even if they're financially stable. According to surveys, more than 60% of young adults in Malaysia experience stress due to personal debt. Financial literacy, though promoted, is still not fully embedded in the education system, especially regarding modern digital finance like BNPL, e-wallet credit, and online lending apps. Solutions must go beyond individual discipline. We need systemic financial education, regulation of consumer credit tools, and a cultural shift that redefines success, not by spending, but by sustainability. For a generation raised on digital speed and instant gratification, learning to delay consumption may be the most valuable skill in a turbulent economy. Can Malaysia's youth escape the cycle of debt and redefine financial freedom? The answer lies not only in theory, but in policy, mindset, and cultural reform.
In the face of rising geopolitical tensions and looming U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods, the global smartphone market continues to defy expectations. According to the International Data Corporation, IDC, global smartphone shipments rose 1.5% year-on-year to 304.9 million units in Q1 of 2025. Samsung reclaimed the top position, shipping over 60 million units and capturing nearly 20% of the global market. Apple followed closely, while Chinese giants like Xiaomi, Oppo, and Vivo continue to rise. The evolution of smartphones is a story of rapid innovation. From bulky mobile phones in the 1990s to today's powerful AI-enabled devices, smartphones have revolutionized how people communicate, work, and shop. They've created new markets, redefined supply chains, and contributed to the development of the digital economy. Smartphones today are more than communication tools, they are economic drivers. These devices have become essential to everyday life. They support financial inclusion through mobile banking, enable remote learning and telehealth, and power multi-billion-dollar sectors like e-commerce, digital entertainment, and gig work. This increasing integration of smartphones into daily life aligns with what macroeconomic theory describes, particularly through the lens of the Real Business Cycle (RBC) model. The Real Business Cycle model suggests that technological advancements are a primary source of economic fluctuations. In RBC theory, positive technology shocks increase productivity, leading to growth in both aggregate supply and aggregate demand. Smartphones are a prime example of such a shock. They enhance productivity, both at the individual and firm levels, and boost efficiency across industries. For instance, companies leveraging mobile apps and cloud computing can cut costs and reach global customers faster. This increased productivity leads to greater output and employment, shifting the long-run aggregate supply (LRAS) curve to the right. But the impact isn't just on supply. Smartphones influence aggregate demand (AD) too. As consumer confidence grows and people embrace mobile technologies for transactions, entertainment, and communication, their consumption habits shift. Demand for related goods and services, data plans, apps, digital services, rises. This causes the AD curve to shift to the right, supporting economic expansion. The macroeconomic effects are particularly significant in developing economies. In nations like India, Indonesia, and many parts of Africa, smartphones provide access to markets, banking, and information, dramatically increasing labor productivity and entrepreneurial activity. This contributes to long-term sustainable growth, exactly the kind of supply-side improvement the RBC model highlights. However, the smartphone industry is also embedded in global value chains, meaning that geopolitical tensions, like U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods, can disrupt production and trade. Even so, the 1Q25 data shows that demand has remained resilient, a testament to smartphones' role as economic essentials, not just luxury items. Smartphones represent both consumer goods and capital goods. To individuals, they offer utility and connectivity. To businesses, they are tools for productivity and innovation. Their impact reverberates across sectors, enhancing labor market flexibility, fostering digital entrepreneurship, and encouraging investment in tech infrastructure, key variables in the RBC model. In conclusion, smartphones are more than technological marvels, they are macroeconomic engines. Their widespread adoption increases aggregate demand through rising consumption, and aggregate supply through improved productivity, reinforcing the predictions of Real Business Cycle theory. As innovation continues, and smartphone functionality evolves through AI, 6G, and beyond, their economic and social significance will only deepen. Despite the uncertain political climate, smartphones continue to drive growth, transforming not just how we communicate, but how economies function.
Welcome to our Economic Insight series. Today, we explore how two successful brands AirAsia and Chegg reflect key ideas in the New Keynesian economics model. AirAsia, crowned the world as best low-cost airline in 2025, has consistently delivered affordable travel across Asia, even with rising revenue up 30.4% to Rm 669.1 million in Q1 2024. Their net profit declined, yet ticket prices remain rigid,
regardless of changing market demand. On the other hand, Chagee, a Chinese tea giant with over 6,000 outlets, generated $344.5 million in profit last year, despite fluctuations in supply and demand. Menu prices at Chagee also remain unchanged. Why don't tea prices adjust? According to the new Keynesian economics model, price stickiness occurs due to factors like menu costs, contractual obligations, and brand consistency. Firms like AirAsia and Chagee avoid frequent price changes to preserve brand identity and customer expectations. Moreover, both firms operate in imperfect, like competitive markets. AirAsia, though low cost, dominates its niche with high brand loyalty. Chagee's unique market as a premium tea provider gives it price-setting power, just like monopolistic competitors described in Inc. as Paul Krugman, 1998, and Mankey, 2000, explain. Sticky prices and monopolistic competition are key features of modern economies. Companies like AirAsia and Chagee are real-world examples of these theoretical concepts. So next time you book a flight or sip a cup of tea, remember you're witnessing New Keynesian theory in action.
To conclude, the three scenarios we explored reflect real economic challenges in Malaysia and the region. Youth debt is driven by social norms and future expectations, explained well by ZL Chihe and Reid. The technological boom in smartphones boosts productivity and output, aligning with the RBC model. Meanwhile, price rigidity seen in AirAsia and Chagee fits the New Keynesian perspective of sticky prices and monopolistic competition. We recommend that the government introduce stronger financial education programs in schools and universities to reduce youth bankruptcy risk. Malaysia should continue investing in digital infrastructure and remain competitive in the tech-driven global economy. Policymakers should consider regulations to ensure fair pricing and reduce excessive rigidity in oligopolistic markets. Thank you for watching our video. We hope this presentation has helped you understand how macroeconomic theories can explain real-world issues and shape better economic strategies for the future.